Hello everyone, my name is Jan Chapet and this is my signature assignment hot button behavior plan presentation. The agenda for my presentation is my personal code of ethics and child rights, then followed by my hot button description, plan, reflection, concluded by my letter to myself. Personal Code of Ethics and Child Rights. According to the article NAEYC Code of Ethics and Statement of Commitment, the code sets forth a framework of professional responsibilities in 4 sections. Each section addresses an area of professional relationships with children, with families, among colleagues, and with the community and society. The code of ethics I have established are have a child-centered focus, plan activities that are developmentally appropriate, provide a safe environment, create partnerships with families and the surrounding community, respect diversity and inclusion, maintain professional conduct. The child rights that I have are right to be heard, right to be in a safe environment, right to feel valued and respected, right to express their personal identity, right to make decisions, right to inclusion, and to have the right to have positive relationships. Hot button behavior description. According to the article Values and Ethical Standards, educators understand that our relationships must be guided by self-awareness, trust, respect, flexibility, and collaboration in order for us to work effectively. This is why I believe it is important as educators we recognize behaviors that push our buttons and the effects of them. The first behavior I have is talking over me when I'm speaking. The emotion associated is frustrated. The impact of this is I would first call out the child by their name to get their attention. If they continue to talk, I would get on their level and ask if they hear me speaking. The impact of this is when trying to maintain my emotion, I don't create a negative impact on my relationship with the child. However, I can work on what I say because it can hurt the child's feelings. The impact on my relationship with their family is when speaking to a parent about this behavior, most are apologetic and say they will speak with the child. I don't see much of an impact with their family. The second behavior I have is children not keeping their hands and feet to themselves. This is also the emotion associated is frustrated. The impact is I would call the child's name as I walk over to them. After, I would redirect them to another area where we could talk about their actions. After speaking, they would sit with me for about a minute before to calm their body before re-engaging in the activity they were in. The impact of my relationship with them is my actions create a space for the child to express why they hurt their peer by not doing it in front of others. I do my best to support the child after talking, which impacts our relationship in a positive way because it shows I am there for them. The impact on the family is some of my parents are understanding of my frustration and with the behavior and want to work on it with their child. However, some of my parents don't get it and can be upset when I bring it to their attention. The final behavior is tattling, and my emotion associated is irritated. And my impact is I would listen to what the child is saying and then ask them to use their words with their peer. This impact is I listen to the child, which helps build a positive relationship, but I don't help them through the situation, which is negative. This can cause the child not wanting to come to me if they have a problem. The impact of this with the family is this is a behavior I typically don't talk to families about. So there is not an impact with them, with my relationship. The only time I talk about this is if they ask me a question regarding it. Plan. The article NAEYC Code of Ethics and Statement of Commitment states often the right answer, the best ethical course of action to take is not obvious. There may be no readily apparent positive way to handle a situation. When one important value contradicts another, we face an ethical dilemma. When we face a dilemma, it is our professional responsibility to consult the code and reflect parties to find the ethical resolution. My first behavior was talking over me when I am speaking. My plan is before, recognizing behavior and take a moment to gather my feelings before acknowledging the child. During, in a calm manner, acknowledge the child by getting on their level and then addressing the behavior by reflecting the actions I observe and my feelings. Then politely then asking politely if they can wait to continue speaking when I'm done. After, provide praise when the child corrects the behavior. If the behavior continues, speak to the child privately in a calm manner and provide choices on what they would like to do to help redirect their actions. Behavior 2. Children not keeping their hands and feet to themselves. Before, acknowledge the behavior by walking over in a calm manner. When I walk over, recognize my feelings and take some deep breaths to gather myself. During, move both children to a safe space, then get on their level and tell them the observations I made in a calm manner. Then ask them what caused the behavior and create a calm conversation on better ways to handle the situation that caused this behavior and what action should happen next. After, acknowledge the action the child decides to take. If this is a behavior that happens often, document it in a folder that is kept away from other people's view and communicate it with the child's parents in a positive manner. During this time, create a plan together on how to provide support to avoid the behavior in the future. According to the article, The Power of Documentation in Early Childhood Classroom, an effective piece of documentation tells a story and the purpose of an event, experience, or document or development. It is a product that draws others into the experience, evident, or artifacts that describe a situation, tell a story, and help the viewer to understand the purpose of their actions. Later, this article states use of this tool helps educators get to know and understand children, and it allows them to reflect on the effectiveness of their teaching practices. The third behavior was tattling. My plan is, before, when the child is speaking, recognize my feelings and take a deep breath to gather myself. During, allow the child to express what they need to. When they finish reflecting, when they are finished, reflect some of the parts to the child so they know I was listening. During this time, I can also recognize different emotions the child is feeling along with observations of their physical reaction, then validating them. After, provide support and collaborate on a solution to the problem. I can then help the child fulfill that action by working with them. Does my plan align with my code of ethics and child rights? Yes. All three of my plans for each behavior align with my code of ethics and child rights. During my plan, I allow my students to have a voice and express themselves. When speaking back to them, I plan on reflecting some of their words back to them, which helps them feel heard. I also plan on creating a safe atmosphere. This is the main thing I would do during my plan on the second behavior. Another child right of mine is children having the right to make decisions. This is why I plan on collaborating with my students on a solution to the situations and working together on fulfilling it. This helps with another child right of mine, which is children having the right to positive relationships. By listening, collaborating, and providing support, I am able to build a positive relationship with my students. This is something I have learned about in my work trainings and college courses. It's like the article Value and Ethical Standards states, educators use our knowledge and skills to promote, repair, and sustain nurturing relationships. Reflection. The article NAEYC Code of Ethics and Statement of Commitment states, as individuals, we acknowledge our responsibility to provide the best possible programs and care education for children to conduct themselves with honesty and integrity. I believe this is what reflection helps provide educators. During this course, I have learned how to be more reflective on my own emotions and the role it plays on my relationships with the children in my care and their families. I have learned how to take a step back and gather myself before engaging with students who are expressing behaviors that push my buttons. I have also wanted to be supportive towards my students and their families. Through the reflection of this course, I have realized I could do better in this area. That is why I am thankful for writing out plans I can use the hot buttons behavior when the hot button behaviors occur. Overall, my outlook on behavior has changed slightly. I have realized there is always a reason behind the behavior. This is why it is so important to take a step back and look at the whole situation before reacting. I find this is why it is important to communicate with the child, because their perspective is important as well. It's like the article, the Convention of the Rights of the Child. The child's version states children have the right to state their opinions freely on issues that affect them. Adults should listen and take children seriously. I believe it is my responsibility as a caregiver to provide opportunities for my students to grow, not just academically, but emotionally as well. This course has provided me many resources that I look forward to revisiting in the future. I am now a stronger educator because of it, and would like to share this information with my co-workers. Ideal 3A.2 of the article NAEYC Code of Ethics and Statement Commitment states to share resources with co-workers, collaborating to ensure the best possible early childhood care and education program is provided. Letter to myself. Dear Gianna and fellow teachers, being a teacher is the most rewarding job because you are shaping the minds of the future. Children bring so much joy because of the unique personalities and the smiles on their faces. However, there are moments where certain behaviors push your buttons. I understand during these moments, your body gets tense and you want to react immediately, but this is not the course of action. Remember to take a step back. Gather your thoughts and breathe. When speaking with the child, remember to get on their level and listen carefully to what they are saying. Their perspective matters too. After, reflect parts of what they said back to them. This allows to build positive relationships because the child is feeling heard. This opens up more opportunities to provide support in the future because the child feels comfortable and safe in your care. This can then help lessen those challenging behaviors. Children want to feel accepted for who they are. Remember not to label children as troublemakers because this is not the case. This is the reason. There is a reason behind their behavior. It's like the quote inspired by Fred Rogers says, there's usually an inside story to every outside behavior. Though we may not be able to know that inside story, there's generally some inner reason for what children do. This is why communication with yourself and families is so important. Families know their child the best. They can provide information you don't know, which can help you provide better support for the child and their family. At a young age, children need the support because their earliest experiences in school affects the rest of their life. When you label a child and ignore them, these effects can become so large it cannot be changed. It is our responsibility to not allow this to happen. Each child deserves respect and support no matter what. Sincerely, Gianna Chiappetta. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation, and these are my references.